Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. And good morning to you, to the rest of the world. It's Wednesday, the 23rd day of June, 2021. And it's a very cool and calm weather here in the city of Abuja. That's Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. You're welcome to another interesting episode of The Conversation, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinomo.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Sagir.
Good morning, Merciful.
How you doing?
Very well.
It's the first of its kind.
As a matter of fact, yes, it is.
Yeah, I was trying to check the set from the camera, and I was like, okay.
It's a men's affair, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's a men's affair.
I think today we get to discuss things more freely. I mean, that's why I was always like...
No, she brought the calm to the show. She brought that comportment.
I don't understand.
Now we can express ourselves and, you know, go all...
Bro, she brought the calm. Are you saying I'm not calm?
No. When I say she brought the calm, it means she's more calm. She tries to, you know, douse the tension.
Okay.
Just bring it down.
Okay. As a matter of fact, a couple of things happened yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of things actually.
Yeah, I think the first was it rained really heavily in Abuja, and to our dismay, the National Assembly was drenched.
I saw the video. It trended all over the internet. I mean, a National Assembly.
This is a National Assembly where 35 billion, as a matter of fact, was earmarked for renovation for a National Assembly that cost just 7 billion to build in the 90s or 2000, early 2000s. As I can't place my head around the date. I understand that, yes, inflation, the dollar price, and a couple of factors could increase that amount over the years, but it cost 7 billion naira to build this National Assembly. Why would it cost 35 billion to renovate? Now, take this from me for free. The National Assembly was built at 7 billion. 35 billion was earmarked for renovation. The federal government rejected that amount and gave 9.2 billion for the renovation. However, in 2021, I'm hearing unknown sources has confirmed that 42 billion naira has been earmarked for same renovations.
Of the same National Assembly that was built for 7 billion
and is leaking currently.
So the question is, what did they use the funds for? Because the first controversy before now was, how would they use so much funds to renovate an already existing apartment?
Exactly.
Because that's what I call it, is an apartment. Because if the National Assembly
it's a shop.
If they can have such resources, such money, such funds to finance the renovation of the building, and it's still leaking, then there's a transparency issue
going on somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. As a matter of fact.
The second thing that was trending, I think, is Lawan. He has
Farouk Lawan, the chairman of the committee.
He's now been jailed for how many years now?
I think 7 years.
7 years.
Yes, so he will be transported to Kuje prison.
And this happened after 9 years. I think it was
2012.
2012.
Now this is the issue. Something happened in 2012. You were found guilty of soliciting and receiving bribe.
Yeah.
But it took 9 years for this person to be convicted and sentenced. I mean, I understand that the hands of justice is very long. However, the legs are slow. If it takes 9 years to convict somebody of such crimes, then what happens to the anti-corruption fight?
What message are you passing to the average Nigerian that do not have any form of leverage?
Mind you, the justice system is quite expensive.
Very, very expensive.
You know, we have correctional facilities that are filled with people are waiting trial. Now, they've not been convicted, so they are not criminals. They've not been sentenced and they've not been found guilty. They are waiting trials in various correctional facilities across the country. Why? The system is quite slow. You know, there are not enough courts, there are not enough judges to preside over these issues. Some judges' courts are overflowed with cases per day. You hear of a judge treating 20 to 30 cases in a day.
That has been adjourned for almost how many times and everything.
So when do we sit down to reassess these issues and say, look, the earlier we get this justice system up and running, the better for all of us. Because it's going to help keep a lot of these criminals at bay, you know, and those who are found guilty will be sent to prison. No problem.
Do you know that if the justice system fails, every other thing fails?
Exactly. So the earlier the better, as a matter of fact. Well, that's it for the banter this morning. We'll go on a quick break, but before then, we'll bring you the quote of the day, and coming next will be development across Nigeria.
remember,
This man I have creative design. We really like it, but
you deserve a break. You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
You're welcome back. Now let's dive into some stories. The first, the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, in its latest audit report, revealed that Nigeria made $34.22 billion from the oil and gas sector in the year 2019. According to the report, the revenue made in 2019 was 4.88% higher than the $32.63 billion made in 2018. The audit report covered 98 entities, including 88 oil and gas companies, 9 government agencies, and the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas, that's the NLNG.
What I have to say is this. We're making a lot of money from oil and gas.
Yes.
It's not translating into the...
It has always been, yeah, it has always been.
That is basically what I'm going to say about that, because if I begin to talk about issues like this, I mean...
We don't have enough time to delve into, because we have other sectors we have not tapped in everything.
Yeah. So, okay, moving over to other issues. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved federal government representatives to engage with Twitter over the recent ban of the operations of the social networking site in the country. The team members include the Attorney General of the Federation and Honorable Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Oyema, the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, and Honorable Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, as well as other relevant government agencies. Lai Mohammed would be leading the team.
We have a couple of, will I say, prominent people.
Yes.
It shows how important this discussion is, because really it's a win-win for both parties.
Yes.
The Twitter ban, it has been trending since they started this ban. That was around
3 weeks to a month ago.
3 weeks to 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and it has affected every sector.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm asking, if something as this, as a social media in this 21st century can affect everything, where is this world going into?
I think it's good for Nigeria, because going forward now, we get to see, although the move to suspend its operations indefinitely is not one I would say was right.
A welcome idea, yes.
Yes, but there are other ways. But now the government gets to tax these companies who have been operating for free. It is going to generate revenue for the economy, which is a win-win for the government. And on the part of Twitter, you get to understand, because from my own perspective, I believe you're not supposed to just ban the Twitter account or how do I put this lightly?
Ban them from the country or something.
Exactly. You're not supposed to threaten to suspend the Twitter account of a president who was threatening those causing mayhem in his country. Now, this doesn't whitewash what the president said. However, there are ways to do these things diplomatically that it won't cause this much tension.
Remember, this tension was not caused in America when Donald Trump was...
Exactly.
Now, Donald Trump is sitting president of America then. He was banned from Twitter.
Yes.
So then why is it generating so much force? That's what people are saying.
I think the reason is because Twitter in America is generating revenue for the American economy. They're not generating any revenue for Nigeria.
That makes so much sense.
Yes. So when you start to generate revenue for our economy,
begin to feel your impact. Definitely. All right, we move over to the next story. That's bandits terrorizing Niger are from outside Nigeria. That's coming from Governor Sani Bello. The Niger Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has disclosed that bandits terrorizing the state are not Fulanis. They are from outside the country, he added. The governor also informed that 20 vigilantes were killed in Magama local government area of the state. And according to him, it is not the habit of the true Fulanis to indulge in banditry and kidnapping.
You see, I've not been one to ascribe tribe or ethnic backgrounds to those causing mayhem, because the truth of the matter is people unite in crime. It doesn't matter if you're Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, Igala, Igbira, Nupe, or whatever tribe.
It's the decision of a person,
or a group of people to perpetrate crime. So if you're a criminal, you're a criminal, and that is that.
Regardless of a religious bias, regardless of anything.
It doesn't matter. Once you're a criminal, you're a criminal. Okay, finally, the Senate President Ahmed Lawan has advised the All Progressives Congress to plan ahead to sustain the goodwill while asserting that the party may be faced with challenges after President Muhammadu Buhari leaves office in 2023. He made the assertion in a speech he delivered at the first Progressive Youth Conference 2021, which held at the International Conference Center, Abuja, and was contained in a statement signed by his Special Assistant of Press, Israel Tobiowo. He said the APC should keep the legacies of the current administration by ensuring that its leaders hand over power to competent youth in the APC.
I think 2023 general election is one of the most anticipated elections in Nigerian history.
And it's going to be one of the most controversial as well.
Very controversial, because now we're talking about the issue of insecurity, we're talking about the issue of a sitting president leaving after he has served his his two tenures.
Yeah.
So it means a new person is coming. So the question is, who is the new person? And we're talking about youth trying to take up leadership positions in the country. So who is competent is the question. So how do we fuse all of this and have a free, fair and transparent election in Nigeria, especially during a time where we're talking about insecurity, one kidnapping, one terrorism, one banditry, or the other?
I think we'll have to find that out in 2023.
Yeah, which is just by the corner, definitely.
Exactly.
All right, we go on a quick break now. Before we do that, we bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa.
North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Watch us on television, channel 138 on TSTV Africa.
It is still the conversation on your digital-first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. Like I always say, you could be part of the conversation by connecting with us on social media, on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well. Watch us live on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. You could also watch us on our YouTube page, as well as catch up on other programs on TOS TV Network, or just follow the details on your screen. It is the newspaper segment of the conversation where we bring you headlines of the day. We start with the Daily Times newspaper, and with the headlines right at the top: Court jails ex-rep Farouk Lawan over $620,000 bribe. For the banner headline there, despite 37 billion naira renovation budget, National Assembly roof leaks. That could be found on page 3 of the Daily Times newspaper. Just underneath the picture of the day, we see budget. Buhari requests Senate's approval of 895 billion naira supplementary budget. And beside that, oil revenue. Court orders FG to pay Akwa Ibom Rivers $3.3 billion oil revenue. There are a couple of other headlines on the Daily Times newspaper of this morning. You could grab a copy to read more.
And the Daily Trust newspaper here from the very top, the banner headline there says, fuel subsidy bribe 9 years after court sends Farouk Lawan to Kuje prison. You can find the story on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Trust. A couple of other stories right there. I'll just get the business market monitor underneath the picture of the day there.
Okay, for the Business Day newspaper of this morning, we'll start with the banner headline there. For Nigeria, simply exiting recession is not enough. And beside that, series of fires explosions show growing risk of Lagos residents. And underneath that, inside, Nigeria-focused gold miner Thor lists on London Exchange. And underneath that as well, Nestle bets on affordability to retain consumers as cost of sales dents 2020 profit. That could be found on page 31 of the Business Day newspaper. You could also read all the stories by getting the Business Day newspaper of today.
And moving to the last newspaper for this morning is the Nigerian News Direct from the very top. How NCC boss Dambata transformed Nigeria's telecom sector in 6 years. Get all of that on page 4. And just besides that 1.2 billion market population, APB and tasks federal government on AFC FTA implementation deal. And that can be found on page 3. The very banner headline there is Buhari writes Senate for 895.8 billion naira supplementary budget approval. 2 riders honoring that. The first approves team to engage Twitter over suspension. And the second, as ECOWAS court stops federal government from imposing sanctions. That can be found on page 23 of the Nigerian News Direct newspaper.
And that will be it for the newspaper segment on the conversation for this morning. We'll go on a quick commercial, and when we return, the big story is next.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. Eat the farm say sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
This is the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And like I always say, you could be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms currently showing on your screen. It is the big story, and today's focus is going to be on Buhari's anti-corruption campaigns, who investigates the Godfathers. And joining us via telephone to talk about this and other issues is Mr. Liberos Oshoma, and he is a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining the conversation, Mr. Liberos.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes, sir. First of all, sir, I would like us to address the elephant in the room, and that is the conviction and sentencing of Mr. Farouk Lawan, to jail after 9 years. So I would like to know what your opinion is on that.
Yeah, my opinion, first and foremost, is what do we want to achieve? If our achievement is to fight corruption and make people pay for crimes committed, then you will say this is good. But how well have we fought that? The answer is that we have not done it at all. We have not done well. Because ordinarily, also, a matter like this ought to have been an open and closed matter. considering the fact that there's an admission from both the giver and the taker, even though the giver, it was a setup actually once he demanded for it. There was an admission on the part of the taker that he did took. But what he took for was the issue in question. And if it took us 9 years to determine what he took the money for, then we have not said better. But because really, and then going back to my first point, which is the fact that you want to establish, you want to deter people from committing crime or deter people from abusing public office, then this ordinarily will deter people, because when you have one-off cases like this, people would think that, oh, look, this man was careless, and so that was why he was caught. And so they will probably innovate new ways to ensure that they are not caught. But if you have, multiple of such within a time frame, within a short time, the possible shortest time, then it will be very easy to use it as a deterrent.
Okay. So now, Mr. Liberal, some quarters have said that the APC government has been complicit as it allows people with questionable character join the party. Now, do you think those persons can be investigated or be prosecuted in the current dispensation?
What I agree to a very large extent. Why you cannot stop people from joining your party irrespective of their how questionable their character is. It is what you do with such people. Those are the people you project in public office. Then it can be said that your party is as good as the kind of people that you are projecting. That's what both parties have done. The same thing that APC had accused PDP of doing is what they also do, projecting people of questionable character. People we have accused, or they have accused in PDP, once they join APC, their sins are forgiven. We also saw how a sitting governor was stuffing dollars in his Babariga, and then the attitude and the body language of the party also was not encouraged. Even though the governor enjoys the immunity, but the attitude and the body language of the party, not condemning it, was also not encouraged. And so you can say that's why people do not even have hope in the four cardinal points of the president. One of them, or the four cardinal pillars of the president, one of them, which is the fight against corruption.
Okay. So you itemized an example just now. How would you rate the current administration's anti-corruption campaign?
Before I rate, let me make you understand my parameters for rating, so that people won't say, "Oh, there are no yardsticks for my rating." There's, before you score a student, there must be, a curriculum. What's my curriculum? What anti-corruption in the first place? Anti-corruption is to ensure that people do not, go into corruption. That's anti. So, in terms of investigation and prosecution of corrupt cases, how far have we done to deter people? We have not really deterred anybody. In terms of putting structures in place to ensure that corruption does not thrive, how far have we done? We have not. There are no structures in place because we find out that even the single treasury account that we have put in place, you still have situations where that procedure is violated by ministries, parastatals, and agencies. A situation where they share money in cash, so violating their own rules. So, for you to deter people, you must ensure that you must make it impossible for them to dip their hands in the till. But even by the time you now start violating your own rules that you put in place to deter people, it shows that you are really not sincerely ready to fight, corruption. So, on the basis of that, I would rate them 3 over 10.
Okay, Mr. Liberos, another question. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has stated that the commission intends to embark on certain high-profile investigation and will be charging certain high-profile individuals to court, as well as to commence the reinvestigation and conviction of the former governor of Abia State in person of Orji Kalu. Now, he has also opined that he is going to also follow up with investigating a senior member of the APC in person of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. So in this current dispensation, how possible do you think that is? Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
Okay, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, Mr. Liberos will be back on the show.
I was hearing you.
Oh, okay, Mr. Liberos, thank you so much for joining us. We thought we lost you there. Okay, so I was asking Mr. Liberos, the EFCC chairman had made certain assertions that the commission intends to go on certain high-profile investigation, including the recommencement of the trial of the former governor of Abia State in person of Mr. Orji Kalu, as well as opined that the commission will also be investigating the national leader of the APC, and that is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. So the question is, in this current dispensation, and seeing the selection and appointment process of persons who head agencies and parastatals such as the EFCC, will that be possible?
Yeah, anything is possible once you have the will power to achieve it. You hear big names in this country, and then we say, oh, that man is super rich. But you can't really point to any industry that he owns, but he has properties everywhere. You know, he's a multi-billionaire politician, but he does not own industry apart from hotels and houses for rent. So you now begin to wonder, where did he make all the money?
Exactly.
It is from public funds.
Yeah.
In some cases, through contract awards, and in some cases, barefaced, like in the case of Orji Kalu, barefaced stealing as stated by the court directly from the corporate state. So when such happens, you first and foremost need to put, like I said, structures in place to ensure that, you know, others who are coming after them are unable to take directly from the copper, and that even when they take, the long arm of the law will catch up to them. And that's where the current EFCC chairman is saying, look, we would ensure that the prosecution of Orji Kalu would reopen the case, because that's what the Supreme Court said. Go back and start doing it. Shameful though. And then the case of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, leader of the party. For me, I would want to see a situation where these people, the prosecution commence, and then let the press now take a bite on it or chew on it. I would not rather celebrate a statement made by a chairman because he said it just to, you know, assuage the people that they are working. Rather, let your actions speak louder than your voice. When Tinubu is not bigger than anybody in Nigeria, so if there are allegations, let him be prosecuted. Don't tell us that you're not investigating. In 2018 general election, with videos were everywhere how bullion vans, you know, drove into his house. And he even said it on air that, look, it is my money, and so you can't tell me how to spend my money. So against that backdrop, the question would now be, what kind of work does this man do to have that kind of money that so that bullion van will bring money to him? And what is this money meant for? A day to election, if not to induce voters, which is also, you know, electoral crime. So I don't want to hear that they want to prosecute. I want to see that some of these people, including those in their party and those outside their party, you know, are on the dock for crimes committed against, you know, their country. So when you do that, when you start from yourself, it is difficult for people now to shout which home to when you now begin to prosecute others.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We're out of time now, Mr. Liberos. Thank you for joining us on the conversation this morning.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for staying tuned to the conversation. Don't forget your opinions, contributions are needed. Just join our social media community and follow us across all our social media platforms displayed on your screen. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so you do not miss out on our amazing content. Thank you again for staying with us. I am Merciful Ajinomo.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching, and see you tomorrow.